everyone, it's been a while since I've shared a scrapbook page project, but I wanted to show you this page that I made for Thanksgiving. I took some notes on what Jack said during the day, and I thought it would be fun to record it onto a traditional scrapbook layout using these prints from my print pocket. They are stickers. These were all taken on my phone, except for the quote, which I wrote on my iPad and then printed out. I'm just rearranging them to see how I want it to flow because I've pulled some products from my latest collection, Hustle and Heart. The main thing I want to keep here is the fact that I really want to keep things simple. So I've pulled just a bunch of papers that I thought had fall colors, good for Thanksgiving, and I want to make sure that I set a timer and don't spend too much time agonizing. I also pulled these two papers because I want to use both the front side and the back side. So what I usually do, I also got cardstock because I want to transfer all of those quotes from the Post-it pad onto the sheet so that I can have a nice record of it. Now, when I first start off with a scrapbook page, I tend to gravitate towards the base paper. Sometimes it's cardstock and sometimes it's pattern paper. And then I want to build from there. My process is usually in this order, but occasionally I will switch it up. With this paper, I'm taking Fiskars scissors and I'm just going to cut a strip so that I can freehand some leaves because it feels very fall and sort of festive. I like the coloring on this pattern paper in particular, and I thought it would be just a fun way to go. So I'm going to cut these out, and I won't bore you through the whole process, but I cut a bunch, and now I will take a look at which squares I want from this piece of pattern paper. Now all the feels looks good with that pink around it. However, it's very similar in pattern to the background paper, so I think it'll sort of conflict with it. But instead of fighting that, I'm going to embrace it and do a little workaround. While I am choosing the pattern papers and elements for this project, or projects in general, I try to keep in mind what I want to showcase and how I want to feel when I look at the layout. So I know that's pretty general, and you're probably thinking, yeah, that's exactly what I do too. But I have so many people telling me, well, I can't decide, and it takes me forever to get my supplies out, and then I can't choose which elements to use. I truly believe in just going for it, because if I didn't take the time to do this the day after Thanksgiving, look, that one says full of gratitude, which is perfect, then I don't think that this would have gotten done in a timely manner. And that's the goal, is to make sure that we don't spend so much time just staring at our supplies and shuffling things around and not printing our photos and beating ourselves up over not being caught up with our scrapbooks, because we really won't ever be caught up. The main thing is to get down what you can on the paper, on the page, print out your photos, have fun, enjoy the process, and don't really give yourself too hard of a time. Whoa, that paper went flying. When it comes to scrapbooking, I chose a couple of these dimensional stickers that I want to make sure I use. And I don't usually do this, but for some reason, because it's on this clear backer, I decided to cut them off of the sheet. I usually just go ahead and decide where I'm going to stick it and then place it down. This is probably a good time to work on the journaling. So I've got the Tombow Mono in 0.03, and this is a great journaling pen that I enjoy using, and I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera because it's going to take a while. And so I transferred everything from the Post-it note pad onto this sheet. That way I have the journaling as a main focus of the layout, but now it's all about placement. So I'm going to speed this process up a little bit. That way the video isn't too long, but I'll walk you through my thought process as I add the elements and play with the placement. I know I want to have things in clusters, and because there's so much going on with this layout, given all the photos and the stickers and obviously the big sheet of paper for the journaling, I want to make sure that I maximize the space but don't make it feel too cluttered. Typically, I like to cluster elements together, which I will definitely be doing, but this is something that I've learned. Actually, that technique that I just did, I cut off that museum pin and I cut it in half so that I could have both the heart, circle, and the arrow separate. I learned that from one of you guys who took my London workshop. She was so crafty. If you're watching this, you're amazing. And it was so awesome to see the different ways people use the same products in their projects. That's the best part of everything that I do, designing these collections with American Crafts. My favorite part is seeing what you all make with the collections and how you all tell your stories mixed with the elements that I've designed with my amazing team at American Crafts. So that's how I learned how to do that. Now I'm passing the message along to you. That wasn't ever my intention when I was designing them, for sure. But I do want to incorporate a few more stickers and then also these strips that I've cut out of the phrases. And if you're hesitant to stick stickers down, I have a lot of people saying that they're just afraid of commitment when it comes to that sort of thing. I do want to add the thickers over there, but I highly recommend you just go for it. It's paper crafting. It should be a therapeutic and fun process. It shouldn't be stressful. Although I understand that because you're preserving your memories, you want to do it in a way that you think is the best. I am definitely giving you the permission slip to give yourself grace and don't try to make it look perfect, because to me, done is better than perfect. Do you know how many half-finished projects I have throughout the studio and throughout my home? It's just not fun. I'd rather just go for it with my instincts, trust my instincts, and get creative. So it's coming together. I think with these little quotes, you can do so many things with them. You can layer them on top of your pictures. I mentioned that these photos are stickers. So this printer is called the Print Pocket. I've linked everything below. And actually, I think that everything here just about is available on my shop site. So you can definitely check it out there. I love this device. I think the quality of the photos is excellent. And I love that they're stickers. All right. I'm peeling them off because I'm making the commitment. That's another thing, is if you sit and look at your layout for long enough, you can second guess yourself and do things that, you may not like, which is not actually finishing the scrapbook layout, which is why I like to set a timer. This one I actually gave myself, I had about an hour of creative time, and I didn't want to spend that whole hour making this layout, but to tell you the truth, the journaling took a long time. The cutting of the little pieces took a while. I like to also add these little foam dots to the ends of the leaves to give it just a little bit of dimension. I do that with leaves, flowers. Sometimes, do I do it with any other shapes? I can't think of any right now. But I think you're just supposed to have fun with this process, right? It's not supposed to be stressful. And another thing is, if you do mess up and make a mistake, you can always cover it up. And I believe in the creative process and learning from our mistakes. And I love making them, to be truthful. The more mistakes I'm making, that means the more I'm creating. Uh-oh. See, look. I messed up on my spacing, so I have to peel off these letters, which isn't that hard, but I want to do it so that I can stick them back down and have Thanksgiving right justified. So that's why I'm spelling these words backwards. Okay, these letters are, I swear, easy to use, making it a little bit harder on myself than I need to, which we tend to do, right, as creative people. I think that's what holds us back a lot of the time is ourselves. So I want to encourage you to use the supplies that you have. Don't overthink the process. I have been doing a lot of creative projects for myself on smaller formats, like in the Traveler's Notebook and in my planner, because I want to try new things and I don't want to necessarily commit to a whole 12 by 12 layout. But in this case, I'm so happy with the way this is coming together. Finishing touches, I want to add some dimension. So I've got these little wood stickers. They're little gems. And I want to place them as just sort of an added bonus to finish off the layout. Another thing that I've learned is that you have to know when you're done. There is magic in completing a project and knowing that you don't want to add anything else to it. A lot of times the timer helps me, but I think that I'm very happy with the way this layout has turned out. If you have any ideas on how you document the holidays, please share them in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I love hearing from you, so if you have any questions, be sure to leave them below. All of the supplies are linked below as well, and as always, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Hope you feel inspired to keep those creative juices flowing.